Hello, hi, Trampoline Parks, Spanish Fork, Utah. Troy Richardson here. In this presentation, we're going to dive into a crucial aspect of trampoline parks that often gets overlooked. Following the standards. This protects participants and reduces your risks. Because bouncing at trampoline parks isn't always about the thrill, it's more about protecting everyone so they can enjoy the experience. So let's jump right into the training. Where this video fits in trampoline park training under our topics for discussion is how the F29 standard for trampoline parks applies. What is ASTM F24? Well, ASTM F24 is a 1,000-member committee that oversee amusement rides and devices and develop standards for them. There's about 21 standards that are created for amusement rides and attractions. We develop and vote on new standards related to the design, the manufacture, the operation, maintenance, ownership, and inspection process of these attractions. So what if Hive followed all the standards? They could protect their staff and patrons much better. These standards cover a wide range of aspects, including safety requirements, design considerations, testing procedures, maintenance protocols, and for amusement ride attractions found in trampoline parks and similar venues. One key element is manufacturer's guideline is an often default in the standard, so follow manufacturer's guidelines. The goal of ASTM F24 is to ensure the safety of patrons and operators. Utah adopted ASTM in 2019 with the House Bill F150. The guidelines help park owners, manufacturers, and staff lower the risks to their patrons. This mitigates risks and helps maintain safe parks. Utah was the 8th state to adopt the standard, which is pretty amazing. These standards are often adopted or referenced by other regulatory agencies and industry organizations in the amusement park industry. So check your state for the regulations that may apply for you this year. So the 5 questions in this presentation: when should a trampoline park follow the standards? What standards are in Utah trampoline parks required to follow? Why trampoline parks follow different standards? How to lower the Hive participants' risk? And why do trampoline parks have emergency response plans? When should a trampoline park follow the standards? Well, the answers include when the trampoline park is open to the public. You don't even have to charge for admission, and you need to follow standards. If ASTM F2970 is regulated by the state, and in the state of Utah, we are regulated. If the attraction has a standard that is defined inside this F29 standard, such as F2007 for go-karts and F2959 for zip lines, you must follow those standards too if you have an attraction that is governed by ASTM or provides guidelines by them. What standards are Utah trampoline parks required to follow? Well, the answers include ASTM F24 because it's regulated by Utah. There are also many other standards that are referenced in this standard, so get yourself a copy. The Hive must follow all the standards for their attractions, and they have go-karts, inflatables, and zip lines, and maybe other attractions that need more information to follow them correctly. Why do trampoline parks follow different standards? Well, we kind of answered that. To comply with the trampoline park regulations in the state of Utah, the Hive must follow its manufacturer's guidelines. So keep them handy so that you can see what the manufacturer is asking you to do to protect yourself. Following the manufacturer's guidelines will protect you against lawsuits. Following guidelines and regulations can lower your risk. Trampoline park that has other attractions with guidelines must comply with the guidelines and any standards that are governing the attraction. This may sound redundant, but why do we need to know the ASTM F29 standards? Obviously, it's to prevent injury, be compliant, and reduce risks to participants. Following trampoline park regulations is required by the state of Utah. You want to also make sure you're following manufacturer's guidelines. Manufacturers provide inspection details and documentation requirements. Manufacturers will specify the number of attendants needed for the attraction at all times. This protects the trampoline parks, reduces faults and thwarts plaintiff lawsuits. So why do trampoline parks have emergency response plans? Well, it's the #1 regulation that shows up first in House Bill 150. You need to know how to handle an emergency because it's not a matter of if you'll have an emergency, it's a matter of when you have to respond. The answer is one, it's required by the state of Utah. It'll practice what you can say and what you shouldn't say. If you need help with this, please let's talk after. To keep the emergencies controlled, you want to be able to look like you know what you're doing. This is not a good thing if you don't know what you're doing and you're scrambling to get somebody because there's a paralyzation or some horrible accident has happened and you haven't practiced. Practicing reduces further injuries because then you know what to look for to avoid an accident. Here are 3 resources. You can pause and capture the URLs that'll help you comply with the standards. If you have any questions, please contact me and let's make your trampoline park safer. Have a great day.